This is pretty emotional for 1970s anime.
楽しみにしてるわ。どれだけお見合いの写真が増えてるか。ママ。
やな、ユキ、
パパ、ママもね。
お前もな。
Again, especially knowing that any of these characters could die in however many episodes, that this is probably the final time their families are going to hear from them. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Space Battleship Yamato. Before I get started, we do have a board and some notes, of course. There is a certain type of comment that's been coming up on the YouTube side of things, and I'm not going to deign to give the people who post it recognition because I think it's a fucking stupid comment. And yeah, maybe it's not the best way to handle this, but it's where I'm at, who I am. Asking why the hell would you react to the OG? Sorry, they don't even say OG. They don't even throw that much respect on it. They say, why would you react to the old Space Battleship Yamato if there's something new out there? Like, as if the original, the OG Space Battleship Yamato couldn't be good. Like, people are saying, I feel like they're telling me it's bad, or in relationship to the new stuff, it's bad. Why would I take random people's advice on that? Especially if I could just find out myself. What is the argument here, right? That I'm wasting my time? What do you care? Most of these people that are posting this, it's the first time they've ever posted anything on the channel before. Like, if this was coming from, say, Rogue Knight or Fail Fisher or, Master Detective or Sevdq or Azope or any of the numerous other people who've been with us for years now, I might put some weight to that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being insulting to people who just showed up and want to give their opinion. I don't know. Sometimes I'm that guy. My point is, I wouldn't know unless I got there, right? I watched the original 1960-something Astro Boy first couple of episodes before we started watching Pluto to give me context of what Astro Boy is like. Now I can say, oh yeah, I watched those. Here's a funny thing about that. And then compare that to Pluto, right? What is the harm in having context? I understand that we live in a society now that devalues things that are older for just being older, but I think we really have to appreciate what came before to then appreciate more what is modern, right? What comes after. And I think I've mentioned this a number of times. My plan is to watch the original Space Battleship Yamato and then go to the next thing, and then go to the next thing, and then go to the next thing. Like, if it's like, oh, the old G is like down here, it's good, but it's not as good. And then the next thing is even better. And then the next thing is actually worse. And then the next thing after that is even better. It's like, well, then I'm going to go through all the steps. I'm going to know myself. There's also the element that I often disagree with people. So I might think the OG is better than everything else that ever came. I'll never know. I'll never know unless I watch. So I just think it's a weird take. If you don't want to watch the original Space Battleship Yamato, then don't watch. As much as I like having new people here watching stuff with me, I didn't force your hand to click the video. Go watch somebody else's reaction to the Space Battleship Yamato you want to watch, or you know what? Hang around and wait. I'll get there eventually. We had nothing but time. Well, unfortunately, some of us are running out of time faster than others, but we got nothing but time at the moment. So let's just get there. There's no reason to complain. Unless you're complaining about my specific reaction to each episode, in which case those are valid. Those are more valid than the complaints I'm talking about right now. Anyway, that's been my rant on this particular matter. Let's go actually get into this reaction set itself. So that starts with the board. And there's not much here to add to the board other than the fact that I marked Schultz and Gantz as dead. They They exploded. They went for a suicide maneuver and unsuccessfully succeeded, as it were. Other than that, though, I do come with notes. I did enjoy how they showed the repairs of the Yamato working, essentially cutting off the damaged sections of hull and replacing it with modular pieces of armor plating. I assume those come from the section of the ship we saw in the captain's walkthrough, where the machines that could make stuff would be. Otherwise, I'd assume they have a whole refinery inside to melt down and reforge old broken hull bits or mine asteroids with. It is on a long-term voyage, so I wouldn't think that such considerations would be beyond the pale. Also the element that they have those rockets to maneuver the asteroids would be a pretty good thing to have them be able to hit an asteroid, pull it back into the Yamato, toss it in the refinery or a forge or whatever they're going to do. So I think I incredulously thought that the asteroid belt they went to was the main asteroid belt of our system, as though they had turned around once again and gone backwards. I clearly missed the line where they said it was the remains of a 10th planet. So what I think is happening is the show is just incorrectly identifying the Kuiper belt as an asteroid belt. Kuiper belt essentially is a belt that's in the same radius, same distance from the sun as Pluto is. So it would make more sense that that's where they would be than to say an asteroid belt. Basically calling the Oort cloud an asteroid belt. Clearly, the Royal Guard is a threat to both ally and enemy alike. The way Gantz asks, are we, could imply anything. Are we going to die? Are we considered traitors? Like, the implication of the Royal Guard causing that much fear indicates that they'd be killed as well. The show is doing a lot to make Schultz appear as dumb as possible. I mean, he is the bad guy responsible for the worst stuff to happen to the Earth. Obviously, we're not meant to be cheering for him or anything. But making him this dumb does a disservice to everyone that died trying to protect the Earth against him. This guy, who is trying to find a missing Yamato and is staring at an asteroid belt for 7 minutes straight before thinking that they might be hiding in it, that's the guy we want to think that Mamoru died fighting against? And the Doctor is once again making me think that the show thinks that space and atmosphere worked differently to how they really do. Previously, I'd gone on about how their helmets on planet were very weird for being mostly just open around the mouth, and that they were bare-handed. Well, now the Doctor's helmet just has a cap he opens in the middle of space to pour sake inside and drink. We really need someone on the science side of things telling people what can and can't happen. Ramming, the stupid final move. I mean, I get it, glory or death. It's just the long range firing wasn't having no effect. Also, you have to remember that the asteroid's shielding is effectively being maintained by little rockets in the rocks themselves. So every shot is breaking rocks and also has the chance to break the rockets. Schultz should have been seeing the Yamato defenses being worn down with time. And while he reasons that they are repairing while this is happening, Sonata mentions that this won't hold out for long, something the Gambless fleet should also be seeing. Certainly not a reason to jump to instant death. Again, Schultz's stupidity makes the rest of humanity that fell to him look worse. My final note here. According to the days left at the end of the episode, the encounter with the Pluto fleet took 16 days, which is, I guess, the time it took Yamato to just escape Pluto and then wander around the asteroid belt and then get into the fight. I don't think Schultz was staring at them for 16 days before he decided to suicide charge. Otherwise, though, of course, it's according to my notes, it should be November 4th, and there are 338 days left according to the end of episode counter. That said, though, that is all we've got, so let's go ahead and hop on in and see what's next.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Goodbye, solar system, from the galactic system with love. I'm not actually sure what the hell that means. Oh, sorry, there's the element that they say, they called something else system. Last episode, I want to say, when they were asking if the Yamato had warped, and it felt... Never mind. You know what it is? We're probably leaving the galaxy. We're probably doing the same thing that we did, or not we did, that we talked about, I think in episode 6 of, sorry, I was thrown by the opening. I thought something had changed for a second. But the same thing we talked about in episode 6, I want to say, of Voltace 5, when we were discussing where the Boaznian homeworld was, and it actually was like an extra galactic system, of which there are a number, right? So the Gamulus planet could actually be Greater Magellanic Cloud, Lesser Magellanic Cloud, an extra galactic system or whatever. It could be that when we say goodbye galactic system, we're just talking about the galaxy. It would make more sense than whatever the phrase means on its own. Okay, episode 1. Back when the Gamulus ships were completely indestructible except to missiles.
謎の星ガミラスの攻撃により今や地球は滅亡の危機に瀕していた放射能による地球の最後はあと1年を残すのみであった
I mean, the radiation's still probably killing us.
一方ガミラス星と
Oh, by the way,
の
that's
双子星である
Gamulus,
イスカンダルの
just
女王
above Iskander.
宇宙の平和と幸福を願い地球に放射能除去装置コスモクリーナーを渡すというメッセージを送った
Again, one has to question why Gamulus isn't attacking Iskander.
地球最後の宇宙戦艦ヤマトは一路イスカンダルへ向け飛び立ったので
Especially when they're sending fleets and weapons all over the galaxy to attack everybody but. But then again, that just feels like the DC Comics New Gods and Apocalypse thing. Which, as I said before, I think came out before Space Battleship Yamato. At the very least, I know this isn't going to be a recap episode because the speed at which we're going through everything that's happened so far wouldn't leave any, we leave so much time at the end.
ヤマトへこちら地球防衛司令部緊急連絡あり沖田艦長どうぞ
こちらヤマト了解サイクル003に修正するぞ沖田艦長地球から緊急連絡ですおいでくださいそのサイクルでキープしてください遠方のため大変周波数が合わせにくくなっています
Is the emergency that radiation is flooding the underground?
大パネルへ切り替えろ
沖田君随分遠くまで行ったなどうかねヤマトは
ヤマトは健在ですしかし長官通信はこれが最後でこれからは途絶えることになると思います
そこでだ最後に地球のことをもう一度知らせようと思う地球は今絶望の淵にいる一辺の
We
望みを
knew this before we launched. You don't need to make this worse on us.
これを見てほしい地表に生き残る者は無に等しいその汚染は徐々に地下都市にも波及しつつあり一部でも混乱が起こっている絶えず来たるべき最後の恐怖におののく人々が
That looks worse.
我々に救いの道を求めてやってくるしかしヤマトが遠くなるにつれ人々はヤマトに不安を抱き始めてきた 人々はヤマトの帰還の可能性だけを話し合い、
So you want us to record like a message to send back to Earth, or
起きたヤマトのことも
that we're still out here and we're on our way?
出力調整のため5分ほどの猶予をください。
ヤマトは必ず帰るわ。必ず。
そうだ。それをみんなの口から伝えよう。乗
Just
組員
see what I
諸君
say.
の家族へ諸君自身で伝えるんだ。すでに我々は太陽系を突破し、前人未到の銀河の中に来ている。これはもちろん諸君の活躍によるものである。しかし思い出してほしい。我々の使命は14万8000光年の彼方にあるイスカンダル星へ地球を救うためのコスモクリーナーを取りに行くことである。
They how very like Battlestar Galactica is this right now? This is the speech, the so say we all in the modern Battlestar Galactica speech.
幸い敵はここしばらく現れる様子はない。
How was the large man to the cloud?
遅れを取り戻すのだ。ワープをする大ワープだ。おい、ワープだ。おそらくワープをしたら最後、地球は愚か太陽系さえ見分けられないほどの彼方に出ることになろう。
Well, in some ways you will, because you have to jump back eventually.
わかりました。我々の元気なところを見せてあげましょう。家族を勇気づけられるとありがとう。ゆっくりと我々の地球、そして兄弟星との別れをしよう。パーティーの成功を祈る。
I mean, at the same point, anyone who doesn't send a message back, they're going to think you're dead. And some people can't send a message back because they are dead.
みんな見てくれ。これが出発する時生まれた子供だよ。どれどれ。ああ、可愛いね。ああ、だいぶでかくなったろうな。
準備できました。初めの方どうぞ。
それじゃあちょっと行ってくるよ。
古代さん、元気がありません。分析しましょうか。
It is his name after all. Oh, don't stand on the floor that is glass to space. Well, that's not a good sign.
島さんどうぞ。
Again, like I said, back when they took off the Yamato, they flooded the underground city with radiation, exposing it to space. How many people died in the last couple of months? Actually, it's like been a month, right? Just 1 month.
今度はベソなんか書いたりして元気か？
大輔。
ご無沙汰してます。お父さんちょっと痩せたようですね。
ああ、そうかね。
Yeah, radiation sickness will do that, right?
ヤマトさん、ミニヤマトだけど、ジローったらお友達を励ましてるんですって。小さくてパイロットになれないから、せめてミニヤマトでね。兄ちゃん、僕の友達が3人も地上からの放射能漏れでやられてるんだ。僕はこのミニヤマト
Wasn't even kidding.
この子たちに見せて、きっとヤマトはコスモクリーナーを持って帰るって言ってるんだ。
心配しないでください。きっと。
それじゃあ、お父さんお母さんお元気で。
兄ちゃん。
ジロー、あまり背をかけるんじゃないぞ。さようなら。
Feels like this whole plan has backfired a little bit.
どうじゃった島さん。弟が立派になって葉っぱをかけられたよ。弟に葉っぱをな。さあ、お孫さんに葉っぱをかけられてらっしゃいよ。ありがとう。
Again, it's actually to send encouragement back to Earth, but what's happening is they're being reminded of how shitty things are for the people they're leaving behind. Get your foot off the console.
古代さん、何をしているんですか？そろそ
So
ろ
as sad as it all is, I'm thrown by the constant
古代さん、
scratches of the panels. So when Analyzer comes in, all the scratches move with him.
おい、お前はお袋に会ったら泣くんじゃないか？大丈夫ですか？先輩こそ怪しいですよ。おい、君たち、なぜ部署を離れた？はい。地球の更新のために。スクランブル要員は？今は誰もいません。戻るんだ。緊急発進準備の者は絶対に部署を離れるな。すぐに持ち場に戻れ。
It just throws me when they never stick around to make sure that people follow their orders. You wander off and they just stay there. You wouldn't even know.
艦長、なんかご用ですか？もしそうでしたらこちらから後ほどお伺いいたします。いやいや、なんでもないよ。
I legit have no family on Earth, so I'm not waiting around to talk to anybody.
わざわざ来ることもないのにびっくりしたぜ。
Well, I mean, I assume the wife of his son might still be around.
あら、古代君がいないわね。どこ行ったのかしら。
ああ、チーフならさっき格納庫の方へ行きましたよ。
困ったわね。古代君の番なのに。
呼んでいきましょ
お願いします。
Who's the doc gonna talk to? Well, we know the doc only dealt with animals. Dealt with, I mean, only revolved around animals.
森さんが困っています。早く行ってあげてくださいよ。ここは整備員がちゃんといるんですから。加藤、お前はもう更新を済ませたのか？いえ。だったら早くしてこい。
I mean, come on. Conceivably, you could just go in the chamber, not talk to anybody, and then leave.
森さん、チーフは更新を放棄するようですよ。
放棄ですって？
困りますな、艦長。そのような格好で調理場に入ってこられては。ここは衛生第一なんですから。
So we have the other guys hanging around by the door doing nothing.
古代、お前は何をしとる？
館内の点検中です。
ここはもう済んだよ。ほらほら、花瓶の置き場所が違う。壁掛けが曲がっとる。ああ、窓が曇っとるじゃないか。彦七、愛子は元気か？はい、父さん。結構さん、愛子の室がちゃんとできとるかの？
Dude, speed running his conversation.
絶対にいいか？
おじいちゃんうるさいな。
お、愛子。愛子、大きくなったな。
Well, that was cute.
今日ばかりはわしのいる場所がないようじゃな。しかし古代も。
And it really felt like Kodai at least understood what the captain was going through in the past before, too. So they should be able to talk to each other, I would think. I really enjoy when they do the hard lines on people.
たとえダメかと思っても明日の望みを捨てたら生きるのが辛かろう。愛子を育てろ。愛子、大きくなれ。まだまだ話したい。まだ言うことがあるんだ。まだ。
I mean, old man, if you don't make it, you've told a little girl to grow up as your final piece of advice.
どうしたのかしら、徳川さん。時間はとっくに過ぎてるのに。
すまんな。年がいもなく取り乱してしまった。
徳川さん、もしご迷惑でなかったら一緒にいてください。私の番なんですけど不安で。
I mean, also, conceivably, you could maybe sneak in the time that you gave to other people.
いえね、時間が少ないって言うからもうメソメソしてる暇がないでしょ。だからお見合い写真を。お見合い？
そうですよ。
お前もこっちへ帰ってくれば、もうそろそろ結婚したって
Oh, this is
ことですよ。
uncomfortable.
今だってほら、8人も候補者が上がってるんですよ。
ママは一生懸命なのさ、お婿さん探して。
私は今この人が一番気に入ってるのよ。海底都市の設計者でね。
ママよしてよ。私そんな話でお別れしたくないわ。
お別れたってユキ、1年待てば帰ってくるんじゃないの？
I mean, we have to, or one of us isn't seeing the other one again.
そんなこと。
出ていこうか。
まあ、嫌な徳川さん。
まさかそのお年寄りの方じゃないでしょうね。いけませんよ。やはり若くて子供をたくさん産めるような人でないと。
Gotta repopulate the earth, I guess.
ごめんなさい徳川さん。ママ話を変えましょうよ。地球は大変なんでしょ。
だからね、だから子供が必要なの。
So sad.
この地球を救ってくれるのはあなたたちと新しく生まれる子供たちだわ。私もパパもそう思って、いえ、そう思いたいの。いやよいやよ、絶対生きて帰ってくるわ。そうでなければママ、あなたを星の彼方へなんか行かせなかったもの。必ずよ。嘘よ。
This is pretty emotional for 1970s anime.
楽しみにしてるわ。どれだけお見合いの写真が増えてるか。ママ。
やな、ユキ。
パパ、ママもね。
お前もな。
Again, especially knowing that any of these characters could die in however many episodes, that this is probably the final time their families are going to hear from them.
ごめんなさい。徳川さんを勇気づけてあげられるかと思ったのに、ママってああいう人だから。でも、ごめんなさい。
いや、どこも同じじゃ。親ってのはそんなもんだ。
男の子が生まれたんだ。男の子だ。本当か。聞いてくれ。うちの家内は宇宙戦士に志願したそうだ。
I mean, at least some of them apparently got nice messages.
宇宙は大きいのだ。そして果てしないのだ。先なんてないのだ。
The fuck did you do with this cat?
お前に買ってやるお土産は売ってないんだ。
Also, how did you know the cat would be there? How the heck cat answer the phone?
名言さよなら。
そうだ。
It would be the comedy move at the end of the episode. You'd be like, who the fuck did I just call?
あそこだけが俺にとっても艦長にとっても救いの場所なんだ。
五代君、ここにいたの？もう全員更新を済ませたわ。
ああ、すまない。行くところがあるもんで。
困ります。地球との更新は時間ごとに悪くなってるの。できるだけ早くしていただかないと。
わかった。
あ、いけない。使い方を言ってないわ。五代君。故障かしら。
That's what I said. You could just sit in there, pretend to have a cock, and then leave.
どうして家族とお話？
You shouldn't be eavesdropping.
ごめんなさい。
You brought that on yourself.
古代、何をしておるんじゃ。遊びに来い。
I guess all the bridge crew had the same experience. Oh, except for him, obviously. That's the point. Him and the captain. Technically, the doctor too, but the doctor decided to call a cat.
わしもお前と会いたかったよ。はお互いにあっちこっちを弾き出されたな。はどうじゃ、飲まんか。はああ、 ってないで座れ。
はい。さあ、ありがとうございます。
It is a massive bottle. I don't drink though, so I don't know what these things are supposed to be.
いただきます。館長、もう一杯。
そうこなくちゃ。
I guess technically it's only slightly smaller than the bottle the doctor is constantly drinking. Haven't actually gone through that much of the bottle.
Godai.
はい。
これからわしは我がふるさとに別れを告げるぞ。さようなら。
館長。
古代、お前もさよならを言わんか。
はい。
さようなら。必ず帰ってくるからな。達者で暮らしていろよ。
さようなら。
さようなら。
This is a really good episode. I really appreciate that they took an episode to do this. Not every episode has to be all combat and whatnot. There has to be an emotional depth to the possible loss of what we're incurring here, otherwise you don't get emotionally attached to the characters. The end credit song. Okay, Earth, Mars, Pluto? Just looking at Pluto? Okay, I thought we were singing a goodbye song to the entire solar system. I was getting ready to identify planets. So look how much they're doing with so little. You can see the emotion in his eyes. Of course, I've seen so many dead-eyed anime characters before. And this is 74. Uranus?
ついに映像可能距離を離れてしまいました。受信映像はこれより不可能です。
これでパーティーの終了を伝える。ヤマト、銀河へしゃしゃり出てきよったな。
Dessler?
来るなら来い。
Yep.
宇宙の広さとそれを支配する我がガミラスの偉大な力に縮み上がる姿が目に見えるようだ。
我がふるさと太陽圏と別れてヤマトは旅を。
I mean, it might be a reverse implication that Schultz is a fucking idiot, but he's like the worst of Gamulus.
すでにヤマトは予定日数をオーバーして50日を費やしていた。
And that as Yamato gets out there, Gamulus is actually going to be more impressive and destructive and horrible. 50 days. I guess 50 days to get from Pluto to outside the Oort cloud so they don't ram into something with warp. Alright, let's see what the editors have to tell us this time. Last time was not very informative. The opening credits showed Fujikawa as the writer, but the doc. Okay, just a note about mistake in the opening credits. After this episode, there will be no female crew except Yuki. They're supposedly sleeping? What the fuck does that mean? Noborushi's face was used for a male crew with an eyeglasses in the party room and one of the... Yeah, there was no time for me to read all that. I guess they were telling me how they were copying and pasting faces. Makes sense. Again, this is from an era where I keep joking about the fact that it's slides of moving things. So you see the scratches on the slide of space moving up, but then you also see Analyzer move into the room, which you also see the scratches on the slide that Analyzer's on, moving in sideways. So it's just very funny for me. Like I said, it's a very good episode. I appreciate that they took the time to focus on the emotionality of the crew, because it's their connection to Earth that makes all of this worthwhile. Even if we don't lose people constantly, it's not that type of show. The impetus of why they're doing things and what their connection is. Essentially, this was the episode that is my board, right? A reminder of what they're connected to. And I guess actually it's more additive to my board because some of those people I don't think are on the board at the moment. So it gives impetus for, if we see these characters in danger later, to know what's at stake for them to fail back home. More so than just the radiation and we got to do this or that. Now it's personal. It's more personal. It's like episode 2 personal, right? Back when we saw the people when we were on Earth before we left. So really good. I really appreciate it. I have no immediate notes right now, but obviously I think I will when I come back from the rewatch, because I'll have to do more work on the board to see who I'm missing and who needs to be added. So from that, I think I'll be getting added perspective on some of the characters to then make notes about. So that said, I think we're done here for today. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?